Hey, what's up, everyone? My name's Lionel, and I'm your host for LT Productions, and you are watching I Watch You Watch. We are covering Sistas on BET. This is season 7, episode 9. I appreciate everyone for coming to my channel. Please like this video, also subscribe to my channel, and leave your comments below. It looks like we're going to have one more episode or so before the season finale. So, kind of excited. There are some things that nuggets that were dropped in this episode are kind of like, whoa. So let's see what happens. All right, so we start off where we left off on last week's episode. Karen finds out that she has twins. She goes out to tell Zach what's going on. Zach is overly excited and consumed by emotions. It's quite weird. I'm seeing a lot of your expressions as far as on social media, and y'all are not liking it. Fatima comes back in, and he tells her, we having twins, babe. I really put it in there. I put 2 up in there. Sir, all you did is provided the sperm. Those eggs dropped, I guess, at the same time, and made its way to the eggs. Now, Fatima's feeling very overwhelmed and is not really being acknowledged at this point. Zach is just hyper excited. How do you guys feel about that? Because on one end, it's kind of like, Zach, yep, that's too much and very insensitive. Karen finally leaves, and Zach is trying to kind of talk with Fatima, but Fatima's kind of in this weird, awkward place and just like, okay, twins. So she walks out. All right, so Andy, she meets up with Penelope. She tells her some important information that none of us knew about because she finally got a background check on Gary. I really wish Andy had gotten this sooner because we're in season 7 and now you just found out about this fool. So Penelope talks about Gary's high school love. They went to prom. Some people saw them argue, and then she went up missing. She's been missing for all these years. Nobody's found a body or anything. Andy wants her to really do what she says. Go start packing up little by little by little, and we're going to get you out of there because we don't know how unsafe he really is. Andy's really doing stuff, I guess, rogue, and I don't think that that's really good for her. Especially when you don't really have a plan and you don't really know what he's up to. You already tried to act like this a tough thing in front of him. If you already know that this man could be capable of murder, and now you're going to sit up here and have all these plans and do all the secretive stuff, don't you think Gary has other plans for you? Which we find out that Gary has plans for somebody. So we're going to have to see what's up. Who was next? Karen does call our good dude, Maurice. They talk a little bit. Sabrina. Sabrina calls Maurice and tells her about, I think, did she already know about the twins? I don't know yet. Karen does call, never mind, but I do know that they exchange and start talking, whatever. Karen calls everyone and says that I want to meet with my girls today, blah, 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 blah. Now, here's the thing that's very interesting to me about Karen. Karen wants to tell them about the baby. She wanted to talk about the paternity part as to even why you was even going to the doctor in the first place, which is very odd, but we'll get to that when we get to that. Gary meets with Miss Marie. Gary thought that he was a shoe-in. He could warn Miss Marie all about Andy and how he feels to be taken advantage by Andy. She got all of this stuff out of him and all this good stuff. But then Miss Marie said, "Don't you think I've done my homework and know what's really going on, sir?" and what you got going on. And I don't buy what you have to say. I know what you've done to Andy and what you've provided to her all of this time. So I'm not buying it. And we find out that earlier on in Gary's career, he helped Miss Marie lose some money. So of course, she's not going to listen to him. So basically, you thought you were going to win, but all of a sudden, you're a loser. So Marie's going to make up her own mind on if she wants to uh, have Andy as her console or not. Oh well. um, Sabrina does call Rich, and basically they want to set up a double date with her, with Danny and also Tony. And he said, "Cool," and they're going to do that later on tonight. Zach tries to talk to Fatima. Fatima at this point is like, "Sir, you're about to possibly have 3 children." He ain't really listening. He's in the zone of, I'm going to be a father, blah, 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 blah. Fatima ends up walking out on him. We find out later on that Fatima goes and meets with Danny, and they really just hash it out about the men in their lives and the stuff that's overwhelming. Danny feels away. She's like, I really don't know if I like children or not. And now they're here, and I'm just supposed to all of a sudden be AKA stepmama. Danny tells Fatima, Zach has got to validate your feelings through all of this. You got to validate both of your feelings, You got to let it be known. And just not do all of these quote-unquote insensitive things to each other. It's a sensitive thing. Like, not a lot of women can handle baby mamas. And you having all of these babies. It's good that you're going to actually want to take care of them. There is drama that does surround at least one of your baby mamas. So it's a lot to carry. So I'm hearing a lot of people don't want Zatima anymore. All I just want to see how it carries out, because we still don't know the paternity of these children. So it's kind of like whatever. I think I'm saying things out of order, out of sequence. But the ladies do go and meet with Karen, and basically she says, I'm going to be having twins. Sabrina's like, oh. Andy's like, oh. And Danny's just like, you're having twins and you still don't know the paternity of them. Yeah, I think for real, Danny and Karen are going to go to blows pretty soon. Not as far as physical fighting, but they are about to have it out. And I think there's a lot of stuff that Danny wants to get off her chest about Miss Karen. Maybe Karen got something to say too. I don't know. But it may drive a wedge between that whole sisterhood girlfriend thing, Excuse me. All right. So Maurice and I think his name is Grayson, they meet. They discuss about what he does online. Grayson knows he met Maurice online, but he's thinking long term, and he actually likes Maurice and wants to know, do you really want to keep this going? I don't know if I'm very comfortable with it. He's like, I know that this is hypocritical, but I just don't know how comfortable I will be in the future of you putting yourself out there like that. Maurice said, it's really just a job. And I'm still waiting to get back into the bank. And I'm just trying to make do for a while. But really, I only belong to one person. I'm not some type of hoe, if you want to call me that. So we find out that Maurice has about 6 months of cash or whatever stashed away, so he should be good, and he'll start looking for a regular job, even though he has not gotten back into the bank. I was like, well, Maurice, come on. But I guess you want to be extra careful, and that's cool. So we'll see how that goes, if he can actually stay the course. Now let's get to the double date. Of course, again, that's Sabrina, Rich, and Danny and Tony. Sabrina ends up talking about the children, Tony's children, how are they doing, And Danny and Rich, they looking like, oh Lord, here we're talking about children. And Sabrina breaks the news about about Karen having twins and all this good stuff. It's like it's an interesting situation going on. But then they finally start talking about other things. Rich was asking, how's your day? Da 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 da. Let's just break this whole children type of talk right now. um, so I guess you could say the first date is successful. It's just that they got to work out some kinks about certain things, about this whole children thing. Danny and Tony, they go back to the apartment. He actually has his aunt watching the children so they can go on and play and do what they need to do. And they do it. We don't know about Sabrina and Rich and all that good stuff. I don't think Sabrina and Rich are going to make it, especially for what Sabrina wants. And I don't think that that's really negotiable for her, but we shall see. Fatima finally comes home, and Zach is like, "Where did you go? I thought we were past the place of you just walking out." And she said, "I know. I got overwhelmed, and I also felt like my feelings weren't being acknowledged. It was a lot to take in, and you put that on me like that. And I just want my feelings to be validated through this whole situation. Again, you don't even know if these children are yours." And Zach does solemnly swear that he will acknowledge her feelings. We're going to acknowledge each other's feelings through all of this. He apologizes and all that. It looks like they're going to have a good evening. Back at Gary's office, of course, he's finding out that the girl that they hired to say that Jordan was messing around with this underage girl has reneged on the story. And also the things with the FBI the charges are getting quite deep. And the walls are closing in. So at this point, we don't know which girl he's talking about. But at the end of the episode, he's telling his guy, we're going to have to do something about one of these girls. And you know what we got to do. Which one is it? I don't know. Possibly Andy. But possibly Penelope too. Who knows? Or that other girl. He hasn't talked about Tamara, because Tamara hasn't even revealed what she's doing behind his back. It's a little bit interesting, but we're getting ready for the mid-season finale, so we shall see what all of the fuss is all about. So tell me your thoughts about this episode. How did you like it? What did you think of it all? Do you think it's getting dark, especially with the Gary stuff that's going on? I mean, women do meet men that are actually creepy and crazy, and I think it should be talked about a little bit. But let me know, are you still team Satima or what, But that's all I do have. Thank you for coming to my channel. Please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and also leave your comments below. Until the next one, peace.